Dave Scott Hub Media, joined by Darlene Foss. We have not talked in over a year. We were talking off air, and we get going so fast we can't even. We were just like talking over each other, trying to get everything in. But I love the Walk With Me project. You and Karen introduced me to it 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. We've always did a podcast with you now. I always had so much fun. I love the work you guys are doing. But let's start. I want to start on how this all got going. Why did you guys start doing this?
Well, it was kind of twofold, and this is where our worlds came together as far as being in the same community. Our kids went to school together. We knew of each other. We were friends, but not super, like more of an acquaintance, I guess. And in my work that I do is in my personal life and in my work life, there was always a connection to meeting the needs of other people, meeting an unmet need, being able to recognize where people are hurting and that sort of thing. So my link into the mental health world started way back then. And then it came into kind of a collaboration with Karen at the loss of her husband through suicide. And I reached out to her, and we started to kind of work together a little bit as far as being able to walk that road together, and just seeing the value of not letting people go when it's like, how are you doing? I'm fine, but not letting them go at that and being able to pursue people. So that's kind of where it started. And we got talking about, so one of my side jobs is photography, and how could I bring photography into the mental health world? Because as you know, I've used that in my artwork through photography, and it can get a little bit dark sometimes, but it's also that being able to speak to somebody where there are no words. And so we were trying to figure out how could this work? And with her work with the store, and she deals with animals, I said, could I come possibly and do pet photography? And in that way, possibly raise funds, raise awareness, raise conversations, because her biggest push is having conversations about mental health, not being scared to talk. So that's where our conversation started. And it's like, what would this look like? And in that concept of walking alongside in the same way that taking an animal for a walk, they don't talk to you, they don't try and fix you, they just look up and say, can we go another block? And they're just happy to be, that's right, they're just happy to be with you. But at the end of it, your spirit is lifted. And could we do that as a community for each other? So that's where the title came in the Walk With Me project, in allowing people to understand that this is a concept that we can carry on, not just as our pets, but as people in the community together, and walking alongside people in order to keep the conversations alive and going surrounding mental health. And in that way, being able to give people permission to speak and permission to feel what they feel, and also just giving respect to those spaces, and not doing it in a therapeutic sense as a community, but doing it as a support sense. And through that, I know I'm talking a lot, of doing the whole gamut here. Through that, we were able to do community events where we brought in the professionals and said, okay, so our goal is to get us to walk with each other. Now, where we can't do the therapy, where we shouldn't do the therapy, there are people that do that. These are them. And bringing those people into the community and saying, could you tell us how to reach you as far as the professionals? And so that's where it's kind of snowballed through the past. It's going to be 5 years, Dave. So we've done the pet photography. This is our 5th year with the pet photography specifically, and it'll be our 3rd year creating events that will focus on community involvement around mental health.
It's and I think the word conversation and talking, 2 things we're missing in society greatly today, is having that one-on-one conversation, and just knowing the person by seeing them, being with them, their the way they act, how they react, and just feeling what they're going through. And I think that's kind of getting to be a lost art. And we need to actually, kudos to you guys, because we need to have that. And I love the animal concept, because I'm a big dog guy. Yep. Always have been. And the pictures that we get, you guys send us, that we put in the hub, are just so much fun. Like, you must have fun doing it, because I'm sure it's a heck of a lot of work. It's so cool.
It is. So those are the two. There's a thing that happens with that too, and it's neat for me as a photographer, because they're not my pet.
Yeah. I'm just curious how you get them to behave.
So this is where you think of versus somebody that they do know as a friend, because there's a different dynamic there. So when a person comes to me, one in particular came to me and says, my puppy won't listen to you. She's too young. We haven't even started training yet. And I said, watch me. And all it took was for me to have the treat. Of course, there's some incentive there, but just that engagement, the eye contact with the animal. And then the animal's kind of like, what are you getting at? And then you slowly bring them down. And I brought the treat down, and then they're like, whoa. And then they kind of went low. So it's that mirroring effect. So you get into this, if you get into equine therapy with the horses, that mirroring effect is so powerful.
Yes.
As far as being able to read somebody without words. But that puppy listened and went right down and went flat. And we got a beautiful picture of the puppy kind of like this. And she's like, how did you do that? And said, number one, I didn't force it. Number two, we went together. The lessons that come out of the simple things in life.
You nailed it. You nailed it. It's so true. It's so true. You're doing this now. This year, it's Friday. I want to say July 11th and 12th, correct? At Dorkson's in
Yes.
Port Rowan at the store. And I'm going to say, what's the other date here? I think. Oh, sorry, you got June.
Yep.
June 20th and 21st, folks. Friday,
Yes.
Saturday.
So there's two Friday, Saturdays. We like to do them from the afternoon on, simply because of where the light comes. So how we do this, for the people that don't know, we're on the side porch of the Dorkson Country Store. And in that way, the sun kind of it shades the porch, which is better. It's gorgeous lighting by the time the shade comes in, but it's also private, so that people coming in with animals that are skittish, they're away from other people so that they're not going to get spooked. And it's also, we don't overlap the animals. So you're not going to be holding your dog back while another dog is taking pictures. So that's a very valid point too, is like allowing space for the dog to be themselves, allowing space for people to be themselves sometimes, without having the interaction or the pressure of performance, really. And
So
just giving that space.
So they call, who do they call they must book times then, correct?
Yes. So they can call the Dorkson Country Store and speak to Karen. She'll have the schedule that they can book in. We book them about 15 minutes apart. You can bring multiple animals at once. If you have 2 or 3 dogs that you'd like to have done, you can bring them all at one time. We just need to know that in the schedule. Yep. And that's how you do it.
It's amazing. I mean, all the dogs, even the different animals too. We shouldn't just wonderful
so
duck there.
I am waiting. No, I'm not going to make the call out, but I'm just waiting for somebody to bring me a lizard, because I'm going to have to go grub hunting to find something to feed them. But no, we've had a cat. We've had a cat that comes every year. Yeah. Cookie is her name, and we've had a goose, a duck.
I know we had the
ducks.
Yep.
We had a chicken last year.
Yep.
And of course, then we have our dogs. So we welcome them all. Like if it's an odd animal that we just haven't done yet, please give us a little bit of a heads up so that we can prepare. And all the leashes are still on the pets. So we don't want people to have loose animals unless they're like super well behaved and the owner is comfortable with that. But all those leashes and things they're taken off in Photoshop. So we want to make sure that the animals are safe and the people are safe.
And let's talk about where the money goes in, because obviously you charge, but that money is going right back into the community. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. We don't collect anything for ourselves. This is purely voluntary. So the first year we had a set fee. After that, we kind of let that go a bit, and most people are giving a donation of $25 to $50. That money goes directly into a pot that just secures your spot and your session. Any photography things that you want after that are at a fee or at a price point. They are purely voluntary. If you just want to be a part of the program and part of the project, you can come and do your donation and have your pet picture taken. You do not have to order anything at all. But anything above that donation fee at the beginning, that is purely voluntary as far as what you want for printed products. But the money that is collected goes directly into our community events. So we've had people to come in for the speaking. I think we only paid for one. And the rest of them said, no, we don't want to have any money for that. So it's like, okay, so now we have all this, we have a nice little slush fund. So we've been able to actually put back into the community as far as, again, having the event, the Lioness, the Long Point Lioness Lions Club. It's a very specific name. They actually were able to sponsor us for the community center last year. So we didn't have to pay a dime for that. So everything that we're trying to pay for, we're being given. So that gives us opportunity to give back to other parts of the community. So we gave some money to Coldest Night of the Year, which is through, who's it through? Now I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, the Simcoe Walk, Coldest Night of the Year, that went into Youth Unlimited, which is youth services for Simcoe in particular. So that's, we were able to give a donation there. We've been able to kind of plug in some money just for support services that could use a little bit of help. We also gave to the Port Rowan School for their playground equipment, simply because that's part of, we were going to donate to the food portion of it, the snack club, snack program. And they had a huge generous donation from someone else that says, could we please do it for the playground? It's like, you know what, that's part of mental health too, being able to have that physical outlet. So we were able to put some money there. So that's where we're able to kind of really specifically touch points into different areas in the community. If there is a suggestion, we would welcome it. We do have a few extra dollars yet. But again, anything else that we collect is definitely going straight back into the community.
I love that. And I think this is part of it too. On the other subject we're talking about a little bit is what's missing in society. But today is you kept saying the word community and you kept bringing it back to that. And I think that's where we all need to take our part in our communities and be involved, especially when it comes to mental health, and, have those areas or those programs that can help. They go a long way, folks. And you and I both know, watching society lately, it's the anxiety level with all the younger folks is crazy. It's critical. We got to figure this out, and we got to start helping each other get through these tough times. And like what you guys are doing with your program, I mean, that is incredible. And I love that it's that way based. It's always been that way. And when you and I and Karen first talked about it, that's what I loved about it. It was boots on the ground there. You guys are right there.
We're here.
Doing it. Yeah.
Yep. And,
So
that was part of it, is that, you know what, if we can do it, anybody can do this. This is not something that you have to take a course for. You need a university degree, or you need social work, or, you know what, we are here as human beings. If you breathe, you can support somebody. And in that way, someone else can support you.
Yeah. It's just having empathy, being real about your community. How do people get in touch? Like, so do they call the store? Like, what's to set this up if they want to get their doggy shots?
Yes. So I sadly do not have Karen's phone number right in front of me.
I'll put it up. I'll post it on the end of the video.
Perfect.
Because I have it. Yep. And we'll get that out for you.
So that's the best way to do it, is to contact the store.
Yeah. Get in touch and make it a big year, folks. Because, these guys have been doing it hard for 5 years. Let's make this the most successful one yet. And
let's blow it up.
It's important they get puppy dogs shot. That's the other sad part about puppy dogs, right? They don't last forever, so you got to enjoy them while you can. And
we've had those stories too, where people have come back to us, not with their animal, but with their grief stories, and that's a whole nother ball game of mental health. It's not about mental illness so much as supporting each other through all aspects of life, and grief is a big part of it. So losing a family member to some sort of mental illness, losing a pet at the end of their life, like those things. So we've had people come back and say, I'm so glad we took the time to take those pictures, because we have something formally that we can keep on the wall, and it's a memory of them in that stage. And that's a really great part of it too.
I think they don't go away. That's my very first dog. So Jake's always there with me. So it's important that you have those memories and those moments, because like if you get that opportunity to get that photo, you should. Very well, you should. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. Always a great time catching up with you.
You too.
And folks, get that shot. Get out, Dorksons. Get your photo. We're gonna put the
We'd
information.
love to see you. Bring me your challenging animals. Let's see what we can do.
See if we can get this.
We had mini horses last year.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I would love a goat. Can I challenge somebody? I would love a goat.
A goat picture would be awesome
A
for
goat would
Nub.
be
I would
great.
appreciate that too. And maybe no goldfish though. I think that's kind of
That's a little hard.
reflecting.
It's a little bit different for lighting. Yes.
Doesn't say well. All right, take care. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Dave.